So the shutdown has entered its fifth week, and President Trump continues to have a real problem when negotiating with Democrats during this shutdown. So it has fallen right now to the Senate to try to negotiate among themselves, Senate leaders, some sort of compromise that will basically either allow Trump to have funding for his wall, which I think is a non starter for Democrats, or be able to set up a situation where the Republicans and Democrats have to come together to override a presidential veto. And I think that the latter situation is probably what's going to happen. Now, here's the thing about that, right? So the negotiations have continued to break down, with the last negotiation between President Trump, Chuck Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi basically falling apart when Trump decided he was just going to leave the room. Although maybe he was just leaving the room because he was bored and wanted to go watch TV. Oh, who knows, right? But in this situation, I actually was wrong. I thought the Democrats were going to fold immediately. Turns out they've actually stood strong for over a month. I mean, Chuck Schumer is the guy who normally has a spine the consistency of Jell-O. He has not folded. And then, of course, you have Nancy Pelosi. Now, Nancy Pelosi, I am not a Nancy Pelosi fan, but it's not because she's weak. No, she's actually strong on issues that she wants to be strong on. It's just sad that those issues are never progressive issues, or are very rarely, I should say, issues that progressives care about. Like, imagine if Nancy Pelosi actually believed in Medicare for all, if she wasn't getting health insurance money, right? Or money from health insurance corporations. She could actually be able to be a person that would get things done. Because again, she is fairly strong in her convictions, but her convictions are corporatist. So now she is actually staying super strong on this as well. So that's actually gives him credit. And now it's that fact that is giving Donald Trump a real problem. Apparently, Nancy Pelosi is too strong for him. Now, that's according to former Trump Organization executive Barbara Rez. Now, she said, quote, "There was never a woman with power that he ran up against until Nancy Pelosi. And he doesn't know what to do with it. He's totally in a corner." Now, look, Nancy Pelosi, she is the Speaker of the House, right? That means the Democrats are in power because turns out the voters were like, we're tired of Republican rule. We're going to elect 40 new Democrats to the House. So now Pelosi has the Speaker's gavel, so she's actually got some power, right? So now he doesn't have control of the government anymore, which means he can't basically steamroll over the Democrats. He's actually got to make a deal. And, of course, she has the power to turn down any deal, which she has. She has turned down, I think, a couple of deals that included funding for Trump's border wall. So now the only leverage he has now in this situation, in this wall fight, is shutting down the government. And, look, that's only for as long as the Republicans will allow him to do so. But it's not just her political power, because she has a great hand, which is why she hasn't folded, right? She knows she's got the leverage. She knows she's got the power. But it's not just that bothers him. It's the fact that she is outplaying him, right? And he apparently can't stand that because he believes that women are literally inferior. I'm going to let Barbara Rez explain.
Trump has always felt that men are superior to women. He even told me that. He'd say, a good woman is better than 10 good men. And he meant it as this enormous compliment because he thought that women were inferior. So in his mind, any woman would be inferior to him, even the best of the best. And here's Nancy Pelosi. She probably is the best of the best. Problem is, she's his match. She is not inferior to him. She is, in my opinion, from a point of view of deal-making, far superior.
No, look, if you're talking about far superior deal-making to Trump, let's be fair, it doesn't take much, right? But at the same time, she is, in her own way, very savvy. You don't accumulate the amount of power that Nancy Pelosi has by being stupid. No, you definitely part of that is selling out to corporate interests. for sure. But look, that's a different story for a different day, right? But here's the thing. You know what? The fact that Trump won't attack powerful women because he has no idea what to do and because he thinks he's superior and he is being taught that he is definitely not, I think that's why he won't attack AOC. That makes a lot of sense. He does not know what to do with her because you come at her, you're going to get the clap back. You're going to get the clap back on Twitter. She would absolutely annihilate him. I mean, AOC, you check her Twitter. It is littered with the destroyed egos, the husks of fragile conservative men and terrible centrist Democrats. I love it. You want to talk about strong, right? So AOC is absolutely strong. Now, when it comes to fragile egos, well, then we go back to Trump. And this whole shutdown fight, you have to understand, this is not about policy. It's never been about policy. That wall was proved that, look, it's been proven that the wall is not going to work. There are tunnels under existing fencing. That wall is not going to stop tunnels, right? Not only that, but a majority of the people who come here undocumented, I think it's somewhere around 68%, come here legally and overstay their visas, which means they fly in, they don't cross the border. And that number is about 62%, as only 38% of undocumented immigrants come here via border crossings. And that doesn't necessarily even mean the southern border. And people from Mexico, we've actually seen a gigantic drop in immigration from Mexico over the past few years. So that wall is a vanity project. It's basically, I built something and it's tremendous and it's got my name on it, theoretically at least, because, oh, look, people will refer to it as Trump's wall, just like Obamacare, Obama's signature legislation, which was actually based on Romney Care. So nonetheless, he wants his name on something because it's all for his ego. He's a child. He's a baby. Very sad. But anyway, look, his ego is wrapped up in winning this fight. So that's why even though he knows he's getting destroyed in the press, he knows he's getting destroyed in the polls, he knows he's bringing Republicans down with him, but nonetheless, he can't back down. He can't allow himself to do it. In fact, according to Rez, she said earlier in that interview, quote, there are certain basic tenets of negotiation that Trump does not believe in, like the win-win deal or give and take. Trump's I demand, and this is what I'm going to get strategy has worked for him in certain circumstances where he had all the leverage and power. However, now he has neither. And that's really, really important. So he's used to coming in, Donkey Konging the situation, right? Taking over and saying, you will do exactly what I say. You will give me exactly what I want. In this situation, Pelosi and Schumer are like, yeah, no. Yeah, but I don't think so. Come back with a better offer. And it's not like you couldn't get a better offer with the Democrats. All you have to do is offer a clean dream deal, clean dream act, right? And and Democrats will fall over themselves. Like, oh, you're going to do a dream act, or you're going to give pathway to citizenship to DACA recipients? Sold. We'll make you a deal today. In fact, one of the earlier deals offered $25 billion for the wall. Donald Trump walked away from it. Because it's not an I-win deal. Because he didn't get everything that he wanted. He only got some of what he wanted, and it wasn't good enough for him. Because he sucks as a deal maker. He is a terrible negotiator. And so he's stuck now because he's an idiot. And he's going to continue to sink, right? He's not going to give up. So it looks like in order to end this shutdown, we're going to have to eventually rely on the adults in the room to try to fix this mess before regular people get hurt. And I just hope that there are enough adults in the room left. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYT Nation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYT Nation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.